Hello. All right, so we got another arrival in the mail, and this is, of course, Cool Mini or Not, upside down and backwards, but you can see it. And it's going to be no surprises here. Zombicide White Death, which a lot of people have already received, but I just got my copy the other day. I finally got a chance to unbox it now. And I didn't go all in. I actually just did the basic pledge plus the Ninja Turtles expansion and the expansion that allows you to play this. What do you call it? Use the characters and stuff from this game on Massive Darkness 2, because I wanted to be able to use my Ninja Turtles in Massive Darkness 2, which is another game which I already own. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's awesome. It's kind of cool. I was actually not even going to get this one because I have already way too many Zombicide games. I'm trying to call that out, but I mean, I could not resist Ninja Turtle content, even if they are dressed in weird medieval clothing, whatever. It's still cool. This was a weird one actually, because when they came out with it, it's part of the Black Death or medieval Zombicide series. What do you call that? But it was called Zombicide White Death. As the campaign carried forward, it got further and further away from being in sort of like a medieval setting in sort of Eastern Europe, possibly bordering on Asia, to being fully all about like sort of Asian mythology and heroes and villains. And so it had, I would say, like a bit of an identity crisis, but still, it's all cool. I don't know. It's got some really cool mechanics in it. So here we have the base game for Zombicide White Death. You've got your characters you can play. There's like a sort of a what do you call him? Ottoman Empire looking kind of guy. And here's like a tiger, and a wizard, and a fox person. You know, just the normal stuff you would expect to find in a sort of a fantasy realm. So that looks good. The packaging here, as always, looks nice, like kind of simple. I don't love the styrofoam. It's very effective though. I tend to reuse them, so I hang on to these. And when someone else, if I sell an old game, I pull these out and use the corners. Because that's great. It protects stuff and it packs it well. Although it does add to the volume of the box. So this is the one I really was excited about. So this is the Ninja Turtles Time Crash Zombicide expansion, which allows you to play this with the White Death Zombicide, and there's sort of a time thing. So half of the tiles are sort of in modern New York, and the other half are in this weird Central Asian medieval period place. And this one is, of course, all of the Kickstarter extras, stretch goals, the Frozen Fortress box, and it contains quite a large amount of goodies. So it might take us a minute to get through all of those, but it's worth having a look. And then there was a few extra special things. So I paid extra for this, the Massive Darkness 2 crossover, which is just the cards that you need to use the content in White Death, including the Ninja Turtle stuff, with Massive Darkness. And because back to Kickstarter, I got the Jenica figure, which is pretty cool. She's the 5th Ninja Turtle in the IDW comic book series. And as you may know from my previous videos, I'm kind of a massive fan of Ninja Turtles. I particularly do like the IDW comic series and what they've done with the IP, but you know, that's where you are at. So what should I open first? Let's just start and go ahead and do the main box. The base set of Zombicide. It's going to be the most useful information for the majority of followers. So this is Cool Mini or Not. I've got a few games on order from Cool Mini or Not, still on their way. I've kind of backed off from buying too much stuff off of Kickstarter, particularly from Cool Mini or Not, just because our current global shipping situation is not good. You've got the Trump tariffs going on, which have just thrown everything into total chaos in, I don't think, any beneficial way for anyone. And so, a lot of companies like Cool Mini or Not may actually not survive. Well, I hope they do, because they make a lot of cool games, but there's a lot of smaller companies that have already gone under because they just can't deal with the shipping instability, and it is a shame. Mostly American companies, so a bit of a misfire there. Here's a big fat rule book. There's a few extra mechanics in this new game. So they have the addition of, I want to call them minions, but they're sort of like allies, little groups of soldiers that you can command. And it has a wall mechanic, so you can defend a wall from zombies. It also has a noxious gas, I don't know what they call it. So you have the sorcerers, which are a bit like the necromancers, and they can spread this poison gas, which spawns more zombies. So that's similar to the mold mechanic in Zombicide Invader, which is the sci-fi one. All right, so here's their cool box where all the minis are. And here's the punch boards and tiles. So you can see there's ladders, boiling cauldrons so you can dump hot oil on the zombies. Noise tokens. What are those? Doors? No, those are chests. The treasure chests, so you can find stuff. What do you call them? Points of interest. Sometimes this plastic is easy to remove, and sometimes it isn't. Simon hasn't quite done it yet. They may never, but I would love to see more and more companies using less and less plastic, more sort of environmentally friendly options. But I mean, Cool Mini or Not, it's all about the plastic miniatures, so it's hard to get past that. But those are at least, reusable and resellable, and you keep them for a long time. But the plastic packaging, the styrofoam packaging, I could live without it. And I've seen other games come through, like I just recently received, what was it called? Deep Regrets, and that one was really nicely packaged. They obviously considered the environmental impact of what they were selling. It's not perfect. I mean, it's still being shipped by huge diesel-driven shipping containers. But there's better ways to do things. We're getting there. We may get there eventually, or not. They'll probably find my game collection. By they, I mean the aliens that explore the uninhabited Earth of the future. And they'll be like, well, this is fun. Look at these great games. They made them out of some very durable materials. So let's look inside here. All right, so there was an option to get the plastic tokens. Oh, this is interesting. So normally they give thick punch board cardboard for this. I actually quite like what they've done here. It's very thin card stock, because there's a lot of this to spread. And I do believe that you could buy plastic ones of these, but this is actually a good choice. In Invader, the mold tokens that are cardboard or punch board, so they're thicker. They take up more space in the box, which means you can have sort of less of them. So I quite like that they've done that, and it looks very nice. All right, and then we've got our characters. These are our base game characters, of which there are always 6. They started giving their information on the back, which is great. So when Zombicide first came out, during the campaign, they would have all this sort of character information when they did the reveals of the new characters. But then when you got the game, all of that information sort of disappeared. So if you really wanted to know about the characters, you'd have to go open up the Kickstarter and look it up, or go to their website. But now you've got all of their abilities and important information on the back, little backstory. So what do we got? We got Dragomir. There we go. Genia, Lorna, who's a fox lady, Ogon, a tiger man, Sonai, some sort of wizard, and Yasuke. There you go. All looking pretty standard Zombicide medieval Black Death. All right, and here's the cards that actually sort of drive the gameplay. You have your zombie spawn cards and your search cards. So as we know, the whole deal with Zombicide is that you do zombie spawn cards. It brings out a certain number of zombies, and then as you kill them, you get more powerful, but then more zombies are spawned because you get higher levels of danger. And then you can also search around inside buildings or in particular areas and find equipment that will increase your strength. And so there's always that balance with the game. How much time do you want to spend searching before you got good enough? So here's all the various things that can be spawned. And these are actually the search cards. So all the weapons, shields, crossbows, daggers, just gets beyond your basic starting equipment. That's really cool. I always like this. In this game, instead of guns, you have magic, so you can do fireballs. And so there's a torch. You need that along with some dragon bile usually to make a explosion that can kill abominations who are usually too hard to kill with anything else. Baba Yaga's blessing, enchantment. But I do like all the sort of magical stuff that you can do in this game. Guard skill. So the guards are those extra mechanics that you have. You can see them in the box here, these sort of pinkish looking guys. So beyond your basic 6 characters, you can also populate the board with 12 other guys who you can use to help hold the line. Con Abomination. All right, and here's your spawn cards. See, and so like at the basic threat level, 2 walkers might come out when you reveal this card, but as you get stronger, more and more and more of the baddies come out. And what's this? There's some abomination cards. A lot of those actually. I don't know. Necromancer. So that's a mechanic that's sort of exclusive to the Black Plague version of Zombicide. Zombie Siege. Ooh, that's a new one. Okay. Extra activations. Ooh, what's all this? Oh, they've got cards for... So these are all characters that exist in previous versions of the game, but have a different backing. So this is really cool. So you can add them to this version of the game without having them be conspicuous. I actually don't have any of these anymore. I used to, but I sold all of my Black Plague Zombicide because, as I said, too much Zombicide. And then I went ahead and bought this one. But, Ninja Turtles, so what can you do? So here we got these. One of the really cool innovations of Zombicide is these plastic things where you can put your characters and your pegs to track things, and you can put your items and then your backpack. How cool is that? So handy. No pieces of paper sliding around on your board. So there's our abomination. Let's get down to the business of looking at these. Where am I going here? There we go. Characters. That's actually a good size for an abomination. Because not too big, not too small. Can I get some more detail there? Focusing on it. Doesn't look like it. But lots of detail. It's really cool. All right, so that's the first baddie. Here's your newest inclusion into the world of necromancers. He's not large. Yeah, he's cool. I love all the detail that they've gotten. Each new game, they just managed to squeeze a bit more detail in. And it looks like they've got a few of the runners. And they're all dressed for cold because this game is set in a sort of a snowy environment, which is neato. A little bit of flashing? I don't know. It's just detail. It's good. All right, and then we've got 4 each of these guys who are our guards / minions who look really cool. So you can set them up and do like archery attacks or sword attacks. I don't know. I forget. It's cool. I like when they add little mechanics that you can take it or leave it, but it makes the game interesting, makes it worthwhile to get a new version of the game. It's all compatible, backwards compatible with previous versions of the game, but you don't need it. This is a standalone game, so yeah, if I still had all my other medieval Zombicide stuff, I could mix and match till the cows come home. But I don't have to. I can actually just play through the 10 missions of this base game, and I'll tell you what, that's actually kind of, you get your money's worth just from that, because that's a lot of gameplay. And I find that a lot of the extra stuff, that's why I only kind of did back the basic on this one. I used to go all in, but I found I would go all in on these campaigns, and then all that cool extra stuff that I was so in love with ended up sitting in the box forever and I never played it. But I played the base game plenty. There it is. Whoa. I don't know how well you can see it because I can't quite see my camera. Hopefully well enough that you can get a good idea for the impressive quality of these menus. They always have such dynamic poses. A lot of people buy these games and they don't even like Zombicide, which I think is weird, but that's, but they like the minis because they like to paint them and they like to use them in their D&D. So it comes with basic dice. Here's your pegs. Here's your bases. So like whoever you pick character, you pick a color, and that's how you keep track of them. And then down below, underneath this layer, please tell me you haven't taped it there, because that makes it really difficult for me to take it out. Oh, you haven't. That's good. Yeah. Just don't want to spill these cards everywhere. You got all your zombies. So you got your brutes. They used to call them fatties, but then people were like, oh, it's not very nice. I suppose it isn't. So now they're brutes. And they are pretty brutish. And scary looking. And extra powerful. You don't want to run into one of those. I'll tell you what. And then you've got your walkers, shambling walkers. And they've made the runners in a slightly different color. This is great because sometimes it's very hard to tell the difference between the runners and the walkers. And especially when they're in a pose like this, which is like, he's kind of running. But when you put that next to one of these guys that's shambling and one of these guys, in a big pile where there's like 20 of them on the board there, you can just say which ones are which, and that can affect the game. But when one's a completely different gray color, that actually makes all the difference. And very helpful, very helpful. So there's about 6 different sculpts of the shamblers, walkers, and all their glory. Which, that's great. We all like that. Here's this guy. Come on, focus. There we go. Oh. It's good, puts things in perspective. Life can be hard, but you're not being chased around by these zombies. You're not having to defend a wall from the undead hordes. You just have to worry about paying things on time. Not so bad in comparison. All right, so that is pretty much what is in the base game of Zombicide. So of Zombicide White Death. So if you ran to the shop, I don't think this is quite available in retail just yet, but probably very soon, and bought this game for, I don't know, usually it's about 120 Australian, maybe 60, 70, $80 American. That's what you get. You get all this great stuff. And a very playable game that you'll get lots of fun out of. Oops, I forgot to put those back in. Oh, gosh. But that's okay. I just lift this piece up here. And I live in here and their various places. Because they've done this a bunch of times, so they're getting better and better at organizing the boxes so everything sort of tucks away neatly and nicely each time you do it. So I think this actually looks like a lot of fun. Zombicide's always fun. It's kind of nice to play a new version of it once in a while. Actually, I don't know if I've ever made it all the way through like all of the 10 missions. I usually play it, have a great time, and then, get to the harder missions, start feeling like I don't really need to do that as much. I don't need to like spend that much time on it, or I don't have time for the big mission, or I do the big mission and I lose. But then I'll buy like they do the comic series, the Simon comics, and they'll come with like exclusive game content, so you can play like a short mission or like a few extra missions, and that's really cool. So here we have the Massive Darkness crossover pack, and this is just going to be the cards that allow you to use all of the zombies in this game as roaming monsters, and use all of the characters. That's including everything that's Kickstarter extra, and the weapons in Massive Darkness as well, which is really cool. So I think next shall we open the Ninja Turtles? Yeah, we'll have a good look at that. Whoosh. How are we going on time? Good. This isn't too long. Oh, I crushed it. That's not good. Not broken. No damage. It's fine. So this uses all of the rules of Zombicide White Death, but it just allows you to include these Ninja Turtle characters, which I've done this before because they released a modern Zombicide Ninja Turtle expansion set not too long ago, and it's actually really fun just to play with your Ninja Turtles. So this comes with your rule book. I don't think there's much in the line of rule expansions, but it does have some new tiles and some new missions, which is really fun. So like if you make it all the way through those 10 missions, there's some more ones. Here's your punch boards, got your pizza to eat. You've got these spiritual energy tokens, which is, I think that has more to do with one of the expansions you can get for White Death. They introduced a mechanic where you can sort of harvest spiritual energy to use for powerful magic, but you have to be careful so to not use it up. So that include that rule set in this Ninja Turtles version of the game. Punch boards, and here's your game tiles. So I think just 4 double-sided tiles that represent modern New York and ancient medieval Eastern Europe, Western Asia. Pizza shop plus, lots of arcane symbolism. That's kind of cool. I don't know. That's neat. Why not? Who doesn't like these? This is a big pizza shop. 2 tiles just for the pizza shop. Cool. All right, so that goes there. And then inside we've got our characters. So who do we get to play with in this version? We've got April O'Neil as a magic user. We've got, maybe she's like a bard. Casey Jones in like Spanish armor. Donatello, Leonardo, Michelangelo, and Raphael, and Splinter. And they each come with a starting weapon that's more powerful than your normal starting weapons, which is really cool. Let's have a look. Let's see what they've done for us. Does this open, or does it tape holding it in place? It is tape. Why do you do the tape? So that when this arrives in the mail, everything's where it's supposed to be instead of in a jumbled mess. That's why they do the tape. Oh, weird. Here's their starting weapon. April's Harp. Take a pizza, flip this card. 0 to 3 range, 1 die, 4+ to hit, 1 damage. Cool. Casey's hockey stick. Donatello's bow staff. Leonardo's ninjatos. Not going to call them katanas anymore. Michelangelo's nunchucks. Raphael's sai. Splinter's cane. The shredder. The foot ninja spawn cards, because very cool. They've just, instead of zombies in this set, you've just got your plain old, everyday, normal old foot ninjas, which is actually pretty rad. How did that look? Can you see him? Yeah, there he is. It looks like 3 different sculpts for our foot ninjas. Here's the other 2. If you can see it. Not really. Very cool. And then the Shredder, who's dressed in like more of a medieval samurai outfit, which is not overly different from his normal Shredder outfit, just a little bit more elaborate. You've got your Casey Jones in standard Zombicide Hero Brown. You've got your April O'Neil also in Hero Brown. Which is a good, if you're a painter, it's a fine color to start from. If you're not going to paint them, it's really good that they distinguish the colors so that you can see them. The original Zombicide had every hero, the plastic was in a different color. And then when they got, you know, like into the third Kickstarter of the game, they're basically running out of colors. So to fix that, they made all the heroes their own one color, and then they added those 6 color bases, so you can keep track of them. All right, Leonardo with his ninjatos and his samurai gear. If anybody remembers Ninja Turtles 3, Turtles in Time, this is similar to that outfit, but the sculpting is so good. Now, the Ninja Turtles that you can get as an expansion as well, where it's just like a 2-pack with 2 of the Ninja Turtles and 2 of the bad guys. The Ninja Turtles are this sort of very light green color as well. Which is cool that they get their own color. And they look rad. Like, these actually look really fun to play with. You can probably use them in Modern Zombicide as well. You can certainly use the miniatures. But if you have Donatello's staff is looking bent as, is it supposed to be like that? Who knows? Feels like no, but also I don't know how else his arms are supposed to be. There would be any way for that to be any straighter. Well, look at the picture maybe. And then Raph looking very, very distinctive on the battlefield. Not gonna confuse him with anyone else with that thing on top of his head. All right, is that everything? Ninja Turtles kind of feels like it. We'll just put this stuff back in here, which isn't where it started out, but that's okay. So I'm pretty excited about that one, especially with that. Oh, and here's our Jenica. I'm just gonna leave that one in there for now, because I might never play with it. But maybe I will. I don't know. No sense diminishing its resale value. Although I don't know. I'll probably just open it up and play with it, but that's fine. Yeah, so there's that. There should be a picture here on the back. I just want to have a closer look and see if Donatello's staff is supposed to be so massively bent. It's not. See, look. Pretty straight in that picture, so who knows what's going on. That actually looks unfixable, the way it was sculpted, or like came out of the mold. Like normally you can apply a little hot water and bend them back into shape, but I think he's just gonna have to have a very bent looking staff. So this last box is the one with all the minis, some of them not so small. It's the Kickstarter extras. The box itself is a Kickstarter extra. Instead of giving it to us in a big cardboard box, we get the Frozen Fortress with all this great artwork on it. Now, instead of a big rule book, it just has a little bit of information about a lot of the extra characters and a lot of the extra monsters. So this one includes that many new playable characters. You can see the sea of brown there. Can I open it without damaging it? Yes, I can. And so I have. All right, so the backs of the cards again have information. So these first 4 on the back here are the Lacuna Coil, sorry, 5 or 6, I don't know, exclusive minis from the Kickstarter that we got before they even did any other stretch goals. Those guys showed up. All right, so what do we got? We got a lot of these guys are going to look a bit weird for a snowy environment, like Mr. Bedang with his no shirt. They went pretty far south and east in their no, not east, south and west with their mythology to get these characters. A lot of shirtless guys. That guy looks right, Genghis Khan. Oh, is he? I don't remember him. Tons and tons of these characters, and they all have their own range of special powers. So their starting skills and then their upgraded skills, which is pretty cool. It's a super fun game, especially once you get past that first couple of zombies and you get up to the second level and you get your extra action and start being able to have longer turns and start doing like special attacks. And it's really fun to sort of mix and match your characters. Some of these ones in this set will be massively overpowered to the point where they're fun to play if you just kind of want to destroy all the zombies and win. Some of these characters will be just really interesting and unique but hard to play. What is this? Midoriko. So they've gone all the way to Japan from wherever they started this game, but it started in like feeling like it was set somewhere in Eastern Europe, but that's okay. Lots of animal people, a red fox person, another red fox person, a wolf person, a monkey person, a bear person, another bear person, another monkey person, a wolf person, and then more human people. Well, that guy wasn't human, but oh, look, a panda person. Gotta always have a panda. Ah, jeez, that's good. I mean, I don't know why the animals, but who cares? It's cool. Whatever. It's fun. All right, and then we got a big thick stack of spawn cards. Now, again, the first one off the deck there is Abomina Bunny, which is from, I believe, the second, the Green Horde Kickstarter. Was an abomination you could get. And so this includes cards for those characters just to make that monster compatible with this game so that the back of the card matches. So when you reveal it from the deck, you're not going to be like, oh yeah, of course it's that one because it's got the Green Horde back on it. Unfortunately, I'm unable to open this. What do I do with my knife? There it is. Why is it being so difficult? I really actually dislike this plastic. Because you do always have to fight with it. Sometimes it just comes right off. Sometimes you have to use maybe too much pressure. Always be careful. Jeez, why is that so strong? I don't know. So you got the Abomina Bunny, and see the back has that Green Horde thing, and I bent that card, so that sucks. Good job. So Abomina Rat, Balberith, that's a new one. Banshee, Cerebus, Chromat, that's from... Holy, wait, these ones, some of these are from, so they've included content that crosses over with Massive Darkness. That's a Massive Darkness creature. So that's cool. Back and forth. Mumra, so they've included ones from, there was a Thundercats mini expansion. So they've put a lot in here to allow you to keep using all of your accumulated content, which is really good. And then here's that's from the original Black Death Kickstarter. There's Mumra again. So then, and then there's some nice gear to warm up your characters. And there's my ruined Abomina Bunny. Oh, that was the most valuable card. Good job. Or was it? I don't care. Whatever. I do care. I'm really upset. No, it's fine. Oh, all right, is this taped or can I just pull this off? It's taped. Don't want things slipping around and moving place in transit. But surely everyone's going to want to see all of the many miniatures that are in this box. I'm actually going to take this and put it over here because it feels like these cards are going to fly all over the place in a second here. And then I'm going to get my handy little knife and cut the tape. Much as I always like peeling the tape off because I kind of want to get rid of it. I don't like that sticky tape always in my space. There you go. So these plastic vacuum form trays are pretty handy for organizing stuff. If you get rid of it, you can generally dump almost all the content into one box instead of having all these boxes. Look at this guy straight away. I'm pretty sure that's the Naruto character, but as a Zombicide hero. That's big and chunky. Look at this guy. Where is he? He's behind his shield. So, like, you can spend a lot of time just trying to decide which of these characters you're going to play as, because they've included so many of them, and that's cool. Or a good way to go is just to shuffle up all of the cards and pick them randomly. Here's some of our animal people. For all of you who wish you could be some sort of anthropomorphic bipedal dog, why not? There you go. He seems together. Firm handle on his, is that a halberd? I don't know. He's got a fox head. It's cool. And look at this guy, he's got a gun. That's unfair. He's got quite a lot of stuff around his head. There's his little face right there. There it is. Who is this man of mystery? Again, the sculpting on these, it's gotten so good. For the most part, they have lots of details and, I mean, very minimal deformation. Whatever their formula for the plastic they use, it's nice and hard. It's not bendy. So when they assemble these and send them out, generally they're all the shape they're supposed to be in. Oh, what? There's a whole nother tray under here. Good thing I didn't spend too long on those ones. All right, let's get our knife of stabbing and remove the tape. There's like 2 levels in this one. And there's lots of baddies in this set, which is cool because it is really cool to have lots of different options for characters to play, but also like having different zombies and like heaps of different abominations that you can bring out adds a lot of replayability to the game. And that's kind of the main way. And because it is very sandboxy, you can play the built-in missions, but you can actually invent your own missions. So I think we saw this little guy when we were flipping through. He reminds me a bit of the Abominabuddy. What is he? Just a little goblin baby? Looks like a baby zombie from Minecraft. Oh, and there's a zombie. Oh, that's the zombie Tanuki. He's scary. Tanuki. Abominuki? Come on, focus. This camera loves to not focus on the right thing. Very frustrating. Sorry. Why do you not want to focus on that right there? I don't know. That's a shame. But I'm not going to spend any more time on it. This looks like he's dark, so maybe, he's a runner of some kind. Oh, that's, what? That's mental. This guy. This guy running with swords. Looks like he got rabbit ears on his head. That's fitting. Did any of these guys stand out? Here's a couple of big boys. There's our panda that looks like Poe right there. Po from Kung Fu Panda. And I don't know who that is, but he's a big guy. Cool. Very cool. Oh man. Look at all these guys. I'm going to lift up the tray. Look at this guy. That's rad. That's a, what do they call those guys? I forget. Like a Japanese monster. What's going on with his nose? Oh, his nose looks bent. That's crazy. What else have we got down here? Another, ooh, these two guys, they're like playing music and have monster hands coming out from the music. And this guy, who you may know from Monkey Magic, but now he's an evil zombie. Hitting a pig. Yeah, geez, lots of detail. It's so cool. Oh, look. Oh, my favorite monster. The Kappa. I like that guy. He's like the Ninja Turtles, but you know, evil. Sucks your soul out through your butt. Never a good thing. All right. There's that little one. Can you see it? Not really. Jeez, that sucks. Seems to be focusing on my fingertips pretty well, but not on anything else. Cool. All right. Well, I don't think I'm going to get much better look at. Oh, wait. I forgot this tray. What? I was looking forward to this one. I forgot about him. Whoa. Remember I said some of them aren't so small? Well, there you go. Huge dude. I'm going to have him fight my Ninja Turtles for sure. Definitely getting that guy out of the box. Look at that thing. Whoa. That's intense. Very cool. All right, what else ones we have? This one. Another big nose guy. What are they called? I forget. They're a Japanese monster. Like a kind of an ogre. Tengu. I think they're called Tengu. Some sort of horse. Is it a zombie horse? Or just a spiritual fire horse? Oh, it looks kind of zombie. It's a zombie magical horse. And... Oop. Like a kitsune zombie. With all the extra tails. Very cool. And... like a Chinese lion. But, you know, a zombie. What else? What else we got here? Got some real characters. There's another horse. But that one's more of a dragon horse. It's got scales. Look, see? Belly scales. Make up your mind. What are you, a dragon or a horse? This lady? Kind of looks like a DJ. Nice. And I think this one's supposed to be like a golem, like a clay monster, but also a zombie. Who knows? You just summon them up. Here's a zombie. Is it a Yeti? Yeah, it's zombie Yeti. So they always include some of these really big, fun zombies, and that's cool. Because when you're having a good game and one of these monsters come out, it's pretty intense. What are you going to do against that? And sometimes they're like not as easy to defeat. Sometimes they are. Sometimes you bring out something like this big and you're like, oh no, what are we going to do? And then you're just like, dragon's breath, and it's dead. You win. Oh, okay. But sometimes they got some special rules that make it like actually harder to defeat them, which is cool. Like you want to justify all that plastic. But it certainly looks pretty intense. All right. I think that's enough. I'm going to pack this up But that is it. That's what I got from Zombicide White Death. I hope you enjoyed this unboxing. If you did, please feel free to hit the like button. I'm getting more stuff in the mail eventually, so hit the subscribe button and the little bell button so that you can know when I'm doing a new video, so you can watch that one as well. And any comments below. Tell me how great my job has been that I've done, or bad. It's always good to know. A little constructive criticism, that's good for me. And also, if I missed something, or do you want to have a closer look? Like maybe I went through the cards too fast, or I didn't look at. You wanted to have a closer look at another mini, or maybe you want me to get the camera out, the good camera, and actually get detailed video of these characters so you can actually see them instead of the blurry mess I've shown you today. But until the next one of these comes in and I'll do another one for you, have a lovely time. Thank you very much. Goodbye.